To the Point with Michael Williams.
The winter tourist season is over, or is it? There are plenty of vacationers still here. What does this mean for our area and for our economy? Good morning, everyone. I'm Tori Dunnan in for Michael Williams today. It seems each year the tourism season goes a little bit longer right in our area, and we're becoming an all-year-round tourist destination. Well, here to answer that question, if it's true or not, is the executive director of the Palm Beach County Tourist Development Council, Glenn Jergensen. So first of all, thank you for coming in. And we've been talking about this and how people just are staying here for a bit longer.
Staying longer, Tori, it is great. We're seeing them just decide that they're going to come down, start November, all the way through April, and then into the summer. We have a lot of summer activities that go on with amateur type sports, so it's really becoming a year-round destination for us.
What's the reason behind all of this, the recent boom or surge, whatever you want to call it?
I think the surge is just that we have so many, it's a diversity of our product down here in Palm Beach County that we have so many things to do. Not only in the winter time when it's the traditional time when folks would come down and enjoy the winter weather of the Palm Beaches, but now we have 2 baseball stadiums for spring training that not only we use for spring training, but we use for amateur sports all summer long. We just have such a diversity of cultural institutions across the county, 200 of them, that provide just that different thing to do. You can't always go to the beach. Right. Our beaches are beautiful, but you have to have other things to do. So the diversity of opportunities, of attractions and cultural institutions and sporting events just provides the right mix of product for us.
Traditionally speaking, Easter has really been a point that people who come down, the so-called snowbirds, point to that day as, okay, this will be the last weekend I'm here, and then I'll go back north or to the Midwest. We're not seeing that necessarily this year, so when do you expect to see that dip?
I think we'll probably see a little bit of a dip starting in the month of May as we start to, as the weather does get better up north. Right now we're still seeing Boston and New York, Chicago, all cold and snowy in some cases. But so I think we still will see a little dip, but then school will be out and the summer drive market takes over. And the drive market of Florida is very strong for us. We have a tremendous amount of folks that come from Atlanta, Tampa, Orlando, and even up from Miami. And they'll stay, do a local vacation where they don't have to get on a plane, and they'll stay with us. And that just takes the summertime and keeps that level of occupancy in the hotels to a point where it's a very good opportunity for them to continue to do well and employ people. That's what we're all about too.
Explain what you mean by a drive market. I know what you mean is
Sure.
You sort of market to a different type of vacationer in the summer months versus during the winter where maybe people are flying in, but if you can go over that for everyone.
As we go through and as we plan for our winter marketing plans, we'll go through and start advertising in the New York, New Jersey, Chicago, Washington markets, probably in the October timeframe. And then as we start to get in and we know that those folks are going to be going back to the north, we start our advertising campaigns in Orlando, Tampa, St. Pete, Atlanta. We start our advertising campaigns there so those folks that can get in a car and drive down to see us and spend a weekend or a week in the Palm Beaches, we'll start those timeframes right now in May and June. So we have a lot of amateur sports that come to town in the summertime, especially with the new 2 ballparks. So this is more of a drive market for summertime for us, and it's really good.
What would make this area appealing to someone driving from a different part of Florida or even from Atlanta to make it different enough to come visit?
Well, you certainly know what we have in terms of some of the world-class resorts that we have. So
Right.
When you talk the Boca Raton Resort, you talk the Breakers, you talk PGA National, the prices that would normally see for tourists in the wintertime can come really down in the summertime. And that just is so appealing, I think, to folks that might be just on the west coast of Florida, even over in Naples. And they might say, well, let's go over to the East Coast, check things out. There's other things to do. And it's a really price-sensitive opportunity for them in the summertime.
Do you see a boost in staycations during the summer as well? Locals taking advantage of deals at the Breakers or whatnot?
Absolutely. I think, I talk to a lot of people in my job, and certainly the folks, the residents and neighbors and the like, they'll say, sure, I'm going to go and spend the weekend at the Breakers, or I'm going to spend the weekend at the Boca Resort. And it's just our chance to enjoy those world-class resorts that we have here in the Palm Beaches.
Doesn't sound bad, right?
Doesn't sound bad at all.
One issue in the past 2 years has been, there's been the real threat of hurricanes, and we've seen this firsthand in Florida. So for those people who are vacationing and they think about what's happened, does it sort of deter them from coming down here?
I think,
do you think?
You know, I think they have a second thought, and they'll certainly give it some thought. But when you think about how hurricanes are, we can plan for them. They're not like tornadoes. That I lived in the Midwest for a while, and certainly tornadoes, you know, it happens like that. Certainly hurricanes are planned for. They're unpredictable, as we all know, but certainly it's something that we all deal with. And I think even groups and meetings that decide to come to the Palm Beaches to hold a trade association event or like, they want to make sure you have a plan. They want to make sure that there are certainly cancellation policies and the like, but as long as you have a plan on how you're going to deal with it, and after the fact, if they're coming in like a week after a hurricane, they want to know that they have an option to be able to still hold their event here because they've invested a lot of money into it.
What is the biggest threat, do you think, to tourism in our area? Is it economy? Is it bad weather? Is it something else?
It can be a couple of things in terms of the economy for sure. There certainly has some, you know, uncertainty when people start to get very uncertain about either their jobs or the economic future. So they'll make a decision of whether to travel or not. The international traveler has certainly had an impact on us. We still haven't recovered to the 2015 levels, even though it's about 11% of our visitors to the county. We have 7.9 million visitors that come to the county every single year. We just had a record 2017. And about 11% of those are from the international markets, Canada, Europe, and the like. So, you know, there's been a little dip there, and they're just starting to recover, but we're still not back to the levels of 2015. So some of those uncertainties might have people decide that, you know, maybe Florida or even the Palm Beaches isn't for them. But I think all the attractions here, the addition of Brightline from, you know, certainly Fort Lauderdale now and hopefully Miami very soon, we're going to pick up some of those international travelers that are coming into the Miami airport, and we'll pick them up as visitors to the Palm Beaches, and they might get a little tired of Miami after a few days and come see us.
I know that you can't predict the future per se, but if you were going to predict what you think this next year is going to be like for the tourism industry, do you think it will exceed expectations, beat previous records? I
think we're going to possibly beat a previous record. We are right now on the first 6 months of 2018, which is our fiscal year. We're at record bed tax collections, and as you know, and your viewers should know, the bed taxes are what funds everything we do for marketing and promotion. It's not ad valorem taxes, it's strictly the accommodations tax when you stay in a hotel. And that's roughly $50 million a year that we're bringing in accommodation taxes. So with that, we are record right now. We're 15% ahead of where we were last year, which we had only budgeted 7%. And that is to do with some of the hurricane activity of Irma and Maria. Certainly the Keys, the Caribbean, Puerto Rico were impacted. Folks still needed a place to go and vacation, and they came here. Thank God we were available for them. But certainly it's something that we're going to look at very closely, but I think we're going to have a very good year from what, even going into the summertime, the hoteliers are telling me. We've got some strong bookings. Groups and meetings are becoming very popular because they see that even in the summertime, we're a great location for value for some of these groups and meetings and associations.
And still get a nice resort or whatever you need.
Get a nice resort at a great price. You know, you can't come down and have your groups and meetings trade show in January, February, March, but if you come in April, June, July, you can still have a great value, and you can still have great weather.
Who is your biggest competitor in the state? I know we like to play friendly with the other cities, but if you had to pick one or two.
Well, if you certainly look at our size, we can't compete with Orlando or Miami. There's no, even our convention center couldn't compete with them. But when you look at Tampa, Pinellas County, those areas, Naples, and certainly Fort Lauderdale, you know, we're all in this together, but we're all competitive too.
Okay, anything you want to add?
I think it's, you know, it has been a great year. We've got this record number of bed tax collections that we're going to put in play for the future. We just did get approved to actually go through and look very closely at the possibility of expanding our convention center over in West Palm Beach. It's about $25 million a year that we bring in convention business to the city of West Palm Beach in that Palm Beach County Convention Center. And with the addition of the hotel, it's been a wonderful year for us, and we're going to look forward to expanding there hopefully over the coming years. And certainly that's another area that can just bring more tourism to the Palm Beaches.
Got one more question for you. Biggest attraction in Palm Beach County? The beaches, golf, what is it?
Well, we're known for golf, 160 golf courses, certainly between public and private. Beaches, the #1 activity that our visitors tell us in our visitor surveys, They come here for our beaches.
Come for the beaches.
47 miles of them.
Okay.
And they're pristine.
Congratulations on the great year.
Great.
And hope you have another great year ahead.
Thank you very much, Tori. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for coming in. Well, coming up, Governor Rick Scott makes it official. Our roundtable takes a look at his announcement that he's running for Senate. We'll have much more on that.